He was the ultimate rock god, oozing sex appeal and danger. But behind the leather pants and wild hair lay a fragile soul destined for tragedy. Michael Hutchence's story begins with a childhood split between the humidity of Hong Kong and the vastness of Australia. It wasn't a stable start. His family was fractured. The defining moment came when his mother took him away, separating him from his brother and father. This early, broken home trauma planted the seeds of insecurity. It is hard to believe, but the man who would command stadiums was once an incredibly shy boy. The transformation into a stage beast was his armor against the world. His life changed forever during his high school years when he met a quiet musician named Andrew Ferris. They were opposites, yet they clicked instantly. This friendship was the spark. They didn't know it then, but they were about to build something massive. The shy kid found his voice, not in speaking, but in screaming. Together with Andrew's brothers, they formed the Ferris Brothers, the band that would evolve into the powerhouse known as INXS. They cut their teeth in the brutal Australian pub circuit, playing to tough crowds every night. This was their boot camp. Success didn't happen overnight, but when it hit hard. Their breakout track, The One Thing, put them on the map. It was the first taste of fame, a sign that they were more than just another pub band. Michael was ready. With the release of Shabu Shuba, the doors to America swung wide open. The US market was tough to crack, but Michael's charisma was undeniable. A crucial turning point came during their studio days with the legendary producer Nile Rodgers. He saw the funk potential in their rock sound. He pushed them harder, refining their groove. This collaboration was a masterclass in rhythm, polishing their raw energy into something slick, radio-friendly, and dangerous for the charts. The momentum built with Listen Like Thieves, increasing their fame significantly. But 1987 was the year everything exploded. The release of the Kick album was a cultural phenomenon. It wasn't just an album, it was a soundtrack for a generation. With hits like Need You Tonight, they conquered the world. Michael was no longer just a singer, he was the frontman of the biggest band on the planet. INXS had reached the summit and the view was breathtaking, but the air was thin. The absolute peak of this era was the legendary Wembley Stadium concert. Playing to 72,000 screaming fans, Michael was a rock tonrissa in his element. He held the crowd in the palm of his hand, prowling the stage like a panther. The press dubbed him the Sexiest Man Alive, a title he wore with a mix of pride and irony. He was the ultimate icon of desire. Posters of his face adorned bedroom walls from Tokyo to Toronto. He had everything a man could dream of, or so it seemed. Life at the top was a blur of unlimited money, unlimited women, and unlimited parties. Excess was the norm, not the exception. Yet beneath the glamour, a deep void was growing. Being the face of the band brought a crushing sense of isolation. While the rest of the band could retreat to their families, Michael was often left alone in hotel rooms. The loneliness of the frontman is a cliché for a reason. It's real. He was surrounded by thousands, but he was truly known by few. His heart was as restless as his spirit. Michelle Bennett was his first big love and lifelong muse. She remained his anchor even after they split. Then came the romance that captivated the tabloids. Kylie Minogue. It was the union of the king and queen of Australia. He corrupted her girl-next-door image in the most rock and roll way possible, introducing her to a world of art, travel, and rebellion. They were beautiful, young, and invincible, living a life of pure fantasy. Living a life of luxury between Paris and London, Michael seemed untouchable. But fate has a cruel sense of humor. In 1992, in Copenhagen, a single cursed night changed his life forever. It started with a trivial argument with a taxi driver. The altercation ended with Michael being pushed. He fell backward, his head slamming violently against the curb. He lay there unconscious, blood coming from his ear. He didn't know it yet, but the Michael everyone knew had died on that pavement. The injury was catastrophic, a fractured skull and a brain hemorrhage. Stubbornly, he refused to see a doctor in the first critical hours, staying in his girlfriend's apartment. When he finally sought help, the damage was done. The impact had severed his olfactory nerves. He suffered a total loss of smell and taste, anosmia. Imagine a life with no flavor, no scent of a lover, no taste of food. It stripped the world of its color and joy, plunging him into a gray depression. The physical injury caused a terrifying personality shift. The gentle, sweet Michael was replaced by an aggressive, erratic stranger. His brain chemistry was altered. He became prone to sudden, violent rages that terrified his friends and bandmates. He couldn't explain what was happening because he barely understood it himself. He was trapped inside a broken mind, lashing out at the people he loved. The sensory deprivation made him crave intensity, leading to riskier behavior. In this vulnerable state, he met Paula Yates. Their spark was ignited during a famous interview on The Big Breakfast, where they flirted openly on a bed on live TV. The chemistry was electric and undeniable. This marked the start of a passionate but illicit affair that would destroy two families. Paula was married to Bob Geldof, a British icon. Michael was walking into a minefield. They were two damaged souls clinging to each other, oblivious to the destruction ahead. The affair triggered a war with Saint Bob Geldof. Bob was a beloved figure in the UK, and Michael became the villain. He was the target of the ruthless British press, who hunted him down relentlessly. Every move he made was scrutinized and twisted. The tabloids painted him as a monster, destroying his reputation. He wasn't just a rock star anymore. He was public enemy number one. The stress of this public feuding weighed heavily on his already fragile mental state. He was branded a home wrecker in bold headlines. The pressure was suffocating. Then came the nanny scandal, where police raided his home for drugs after a tip-off. It felt like a conspiracy to take his daughter away. The drug raids were the final straw. He felt persecuted, trapped in a country that hated him. The joy of music was replaced by court dates and legal battles. He was spiraling, using drugs not just for fun, but to numb the pain of his chaotic reality. Hoping for a fresh start, INXS planned their 20th anniversary tour. Michael returned to Australia, looking forward to the shows. But inside, he was crumbling. His internal collapse was hidden behind sunglasses and a forced smile. The band noticed he wasn't himself. He was distant and on edge. He was fighting a war on two fronts: the legal battle for his family in London and the pressure to perform as the rock god in Sydney. The weight of it all was becoming unbearable. The breaking point came at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in room 524. He was waiting for Paula and their daughter, Tiger Lily, to join him for Christmas. Then came the devastating phone call. Paula couldn't bring the children due to the legal battle with Bob. This news shattered him. He was alone in a hotel room, separated from the only things keeping him alive. The despair was absolute. Room 524 transformed from a luxury suite into a lonely prison cell of his own making. He had a final dinner with his father, but his mind was elsewhere. Back in the room, desperation took over. He consumed a cocktail of drugs and alcohol to numb the agony. He made a furious, screaming call to Bob Geldof, begging and threatening. But it was futile. The silence that followed was deafening. In the early hours of November 22, 1997, the demons he had fought for years finally cornered him. The sun was coming up over Sydney, but Michael's world had gone pitch black. The next morning, a maid knocked on the door. Receiving no answer, she entered and was met with a horrific scene. Michael was found naked, kneeling on the floor, facing the door. He had used a snakeskin belt to hang himself from the automatic door closer. The vibrant, energetic man who had danced on the stage of Wembley was gone. The shockwave of his death spread instantly from the hotel corridor to the entire world. The music had stopped in the most tragic way possible. Speculation ran wild immediately. Was it suicide or a sex game gone wrong? Autoerotic asphyxiation? Paula Yates desperately clung to the accident theory. However, the autopsy report painted a grim picture of alcohol, cocaine, and Prozac in his system. The coroner's final ruling was clear. He took his own life. It was a deliberate act of a man in severe distress. The accident theory was dismissed, leaving a legacy of pain and unanswered questions about his final thoughts. The funeral was a surreal spectacle. Paula, grief-stricken, threatened to jump into the grave with him. In a touching moment, Nick Cave demanded the cameras be turned off before he sang for his friend. But the tragedy didn't end there. Millions of dollars of Michael's fortune vanished into complex trusts, leaving his family with little. Michael Hutchence left behind a legacy of incredible music, a mysterious death, and a reminder that even the brightest stars can burn out.